MillbrookEngage Chapel Talk. And before we begin, I would like to take a moment to acknowledge some special guests that we have in the room, which include benefactors of this important and mission-centered program, parents who have supported our students in committing their summers to service work, and representatives from some of our students' respective not-for-profit organizations. They are all joining us in the first two rows. Thank you to each of you for your support. We are once again privileged to have Herb Schultz, class of 1963, and his wife, Cynthia, join us this evening. Herb founded and funded the initial offering of the MillbrookEngage summer internship program several years ago, coming to us with an idea on how Millbrook School students could gain real-world skills and experience while offering their time to not-for-profit organizations. 8 years later, Millbrook School's service-centric summer internship program is thriving and has been successful by every measure. For example, the program's significant growth, more than doubling in size and growing by 171% in the last 3 years, affirms its success and our students' commitment to service. This past summer, 19 students, the largest group in the history of the program, we can barely fit on the stage today, brought non-city secunctus to various not-for-profits nationwide and certainly left their respective organizations better than they found them, while also learning about themselves and the not-for-profit interests that they supported. Service is quite literally the core of our school values, and it is at the very heart of who we are, tying together students both past and present. I believe that the success of this program is in large part because of our students, because of those of you in this room who have internalized our core value of service and continue seeking out ways to spend your time, and in the case of MillbrookEngage, your summers, to serving others. In a year when we are also focusing on our core value of curiosity, I feel it's also important to highlight what a curious bunch this group is. These students were curious about how to make change, curious about sectors and causes that they were considering pursuing in college and beyond, and curious about how people can come together to solve complex issues and so much more. I really think you'll enjoy hearing about their respective areas of interest and what they learned through exploring them through the lens of service. I'm excited for you to hear from this awesome group, and they have a lot to share, so without further delay, we'll jump into our program. As many of you know, this chapel talk runs in a panel format, so please hold any applause till the end. So the first question is for everyone. Please share the following information with the audience. Your name, the organization that you worked for and its location, what the goal of that organization is, and how you supported them this past summer with your internship.
Hi, my name is Christina Bellin, and I worked at Project SAGE, which is a domestic violence relief agency in Lakeville, Connecticut. The goal of the organization is to protect, advocate, support, and guide, and educate about victims of domestic violence. I helped this organization by creating lesson plans since they teach in all the District 1 schools in Connecticut. I worked with the court advocate, filling out police reports, and I also delivered food to clients in shelter.
Hi, my name is Elle O'Brien. I worked for Recovering Hope, which is operated outside of the Plastic Surgery Institute of New York, which is directed by Dr. Adam Schaffner in New York City, and I helped by watching surgeries and talking to patients.
Hello, my name is Ethan Davis. I worked in Lenox Hill Hospital in New York, New York. I worked mainly in the histology department, and I helped create a new organizational system for all their physical specimens.
Hi, my name is Grace Feldman. I work for the YWCA's Center of Equity and Justice in Greenwich, Connecticut. The goal of this organization is to eliminate racism and empower women. I helped them by revamping their preschool program from a DEI perspective.
Hi, my name is Evie Bladstein, and over the summer I worked at NYU Langone Hassenfeld Children's Hospital. I worked with their child life team by doing creative art therapies with kids, doing one-on-one with kids, and learning under their amazing staff.
Hi, I'm Nate Larno. This summer I worked at our very own Trevor Zoo in Millbrook, New York. Their mission is animal conservation and education. I supported this organization by giving my time. I was a camp counselor for a little bit. I worked with all the animals, and I spent my time creating individual instructions for how to take care of the animals.
Hi, my name is Toby Shane. I worked for Sweet Pea Bakery out of Westport, Connecticut, where I helped out disabled population with helping around the restaurant.
My name is Aaron John Francois. I worked at Harlem Lacrosse over the summer. The goal of the organization is to give an opportunity to underserved kids to play lacrosse at a high level. And I worked as an assistant lacrosse coach and a soft skills facilitator. Soft skills such as like presenting, taking notes, and active listening.
Hi, my name is Marshall Page. This past summer I worked at the Block Island Club located in Block Island, Rhode Island. Their goal is to teach the local kids there how to sail, and I worked as a sailing instructor there.
Hi, my name is Tianyu Chen. I work here at Millbrook School for Archive. Archive is one of our community service, but also a summer job position. Our goal is to reorganize and digitalize all these old files over our archive room in the library, and finally make them accessible for all the students, faculty, and alumni. Over the summer, I scanned the biology book of Tom Lovejoy in his high school, and I also added the alumni video originally for Down School Road movie in 2006.
Hi, I'm Molly Morrissey. This summer I worked with KDEF, which is Kenya Drylands Education Funds, and it provides education for girls in Kenya. It's secondary school, and it was based in Manchester, Vermont. I did a lot of work with social media and planning events.
Hi, I'm Sarah Egan. I worked at the Rosemont Gifford Zoo in Syracuse, New York. I specifically worked in the carnivore department, so I worked with a bunch of different leopards, tigers, bears, wolves, and the mission of the zoo is to educate about the natural world as well as preserve it.
Hi, my name is Juliette Drury. This summer I worked at the Duchess Land Conservancy in Millbrook, New York. The goal of the organization is to protect and preserve land all around Dutchess County, as well as promote environmental conservation. While I was there, I volunteered at events, ran the social media page, helped monitor and preserve land, and conduct environmental research.
Hello, my name is Angelina Huang. I worked at Monell Chemical Senses Centers in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Monell is a nonprofit scientific institute dedicated to research on human senses. My responsibilities at Monell range from recruiting participants, conducting the consenting process, analyzing and collecting data, to process human samples collected during study.
Hi, I'm Sam Tsao. This summer I worked for Ice Hockey in Harlem, New York. Their mission statement is to empower and develop youth through the sport of ice hockey. I would like to give a chance to shout out Malik and Ryan for being here. It was like a 2-hour drive probably, 2-hour drive back. Thanks so much for supporting me. This summer I worked with them organizing donations, developing education systems for hockey, and working as a camp counselor this summer.
Hi, my name is Cameron Wooden, and over the summer I worked at the Trevor Zoo, which is located right across campus. And the goal of the organization is to help with conservation and educate the public on our beautiful ecosystems that we have in the world. Over the summer, I worked with both helping with animal husbandry and doing a lot of different art projects that will be later put in the gift shop.
Hi, I'm James Patterson. This summer I worked at the Carey Institute of Ecosystem Studies, which is right down the road here in Millbrook, New York. Their mission is to study the ecosystems. They do a lot of really important ecological research there. I helped by working for Dr. Jane Lucas, who's in the crowd today. Thank you again, by just helping her with her research.
My name is Jimmy Fleur Stambuheta. I worked for New Heights NYC over this past summer. Their goal is to help young athletes become better students, leaders, and athletes, obviously, in their spaces. and I help them by being a coach and teaching kids how to deal with time management and other leadership skills.
Hi, my name is Baker Rosen, and this summer I worked for the Southampton Fresh Air Home in Southampton, New York. And the goal of this organization is to have a summer camp and a place to be for children that have severe physical and mental disabilities. And here my role was being a camp counselor, taking care of the children, pushing them to and from the pool, and just taking care of them in general.
Thanks, everyone. Okay, so this next question is for Christina, Grace, Angelina, Ethan, Nate, and Cameron. Why do you do service? And has your opinion of service changed at all as a result of this experience?
I do service to support and give back to my community. And through this experience, I learned that service is not just about the physical actions that you do, but about your presence. When working with domestic violence victims, a lot of the time, all they need is someone to sit with, someone to talk to, maybe a glass of water, and just being there for them can really make an impact on them.
I do service, like Christina, to give back to my community, and because Lenox Hill in particular, when I was younger, my mother was diagnosed with cancer, and she's fine now. But I saw the way that medical professionals impacted her life, and I wanted to give back to that particular part of the community.
I do service to help combat issues that I'm passionate about and help them stop them from evolving. I learned over the summer how much work these organizations put behind the scenes and not just on the front lines.
I do service because I could not pass up an opportunity to continue doing something that I love, while also giving back to my community.
I do service because this is where my curiosity is rooted. Back in January, I stepped into Mrs. Rexall's office and said, I want to do something about the essential mechanisms about taste and smell, and I'm fine with doing cosmetic science, like making perfume, and end up with working for a commercial organization. But MillbrookEngage found one out for me, which is science-based and right up my alley. And after doing this service, I realized how high the upper limit of high schoolers could be. So in the lab, I work alongside with professional scientists, and they treated me just like their colleagues, and I realized how meaningful my contributions could be.
So I do service because it makes me feel better as a person, as well as a way for me to find and establish connections with people who also have similar passions to me. And the MillbrookEngage, honestly, my view of service didn't technically change, but it helped me explore what I'm passionate about, which I really appreciated, and
Okay, Christina and Elle, Molly Baker, James, Angelina, Sarah, and Jimmy. Tell us why there is a need for your service organization and what your organization is doing to help meet this need or solve the challenge that they face.
So Elle and I both worked with organizations that work with domestic violence victims and survivors. Domestic violence is a pervasive issue in our society. It affects everybody, or it could affect everybody, no matter your race, sexuality, gender, socioeconomic status. So my organization focused on educating their community about healthy and unhealthy relationships and sheltering survivors of domestic violence.
So my internship dealt with giving domestic abuse survivors aid and funding for plastic surgery for like just trauma that they endured during a domestic abuse relationship, and allowed for people to finally be able to have their bodies back after being in these traumatic experiences.
There is a need for my organization because many students in Kenya do not have access to education, and KDEF works with building boarding schools for these girls in Kenya, and they offer mentorship programs, and these boarding schools have dining halls, faculty houses, and it's really helpful for a lot of the girls in Kenya to help them get an education, which they really want.
My organization is located in a city, so a lot of the people who come to the zoo tend to have not seen much of exotic animals, though we are surrounded by some of the biggest dairy farms in upstate New York. The most common animal they see is squirrels. So my organization helps by educating them about the natural world that they would never be able to see and showing them what we need to do for our future related to climate change, as well as showing them what there is out there.
After COVID pandemic, about 3 to 20% of population is afflicted by anosmia and hyposmia, the decreased ability to smell and taste. And to accommodate the need, Monell designed a rapid smell test called Sentinel that is just like the rapid COVID test that is portable, inexpensive, and self-administered. And I was involved in the study to validate the Sentinel test.
Yeah, so there's a need for the Caring Institute because not only is there a lot of very important research about our ecosystems and the world going on there, but there's also they also do a lot of educating there. They teach about all sorts of stuff about the environment, which we all need to know in order to keep our environments healthy.
There's a need for New Heights because kids who don't have the same opportunities as everyone else is the kids at New Heights target, especially those who want to play sports at the next level and gain education through sports. And they teach them all the skills that they need to succeed later in life, and that's why they are needed there. And it's really important that they help those kids choose that path instead of another one.
There is a need for the Southampton Fresh Air Home Fund because there are not many places where these kids can interact with people who are just like them and have a place where they feel at home. And not only this, there's parents who have to take care of their children every day who have these disabilities, and they need a break too. So this place gives the parents kind of a time to relax while their children are having a great time playing with kids, playing hockey, going swimming in the pool, and things like that.
Okay, thank you. Grace, Cameron, Evie, James, Aaron, and Tanu, what do you perceive as the underlying issue that is causing the need at your organization?
One of the main things I did over the summer was help with their equity library project. I think that our education system is inherently corrupt, and it's important that we recognize how impressionable young minds are, especially preschoolers. So what I did was analyze books and make sure that there was no underlying stereotypes or problems within the stories, because kids really take those directly into heart. So I think the need for my organization is to create a more inclusive and compassionate community starting at a young age.
A lot of the times when you're dealing with pediatric centers, they like mental health plays actually sometimes an even bigger component in a kid's diagnosis or surgery, and so the healing process can take twice as long if their mental state is not where it's supposed to be. And the Child Life program at NYU takes pride in really taking the time to make sure that even if these kids are 100% healthy and have a 100% recovery rate, that they're still there mentally. And so with like using creative arts and like even just taking kids outside on like there was a roof with a playground on it, and like that, it just makes their entire day, and it really helps with the healing process.
What I perceive to be the underlying issue of my organization, and the reason why my organization exists, is because we need more equal access, opportunity, and support. A lot of kids in Harlem or other marginalized areas of the world, or even this nation, don't have as many resources or access to sports like lacrosse, because the entry for like lacrosse or sports like lacrosse are like pretty expensive. So my program aims to essentially fund that and support them through everything, not only on the field but academically as well. And it just builds their confidence in general and helps them get farther in life.
So basically, people are not immortal beings. In other words, people are going to forget and finally die. As a matter of fact, But before these memories diminish, the archive wants to collect these memories. Every of you sitting here will one day graduate and become an alumni. Excited? But after many, many years, when you get back to campus, you still want to find your mark here, and you still want people to remember you. And that's why archives exist.
So the underlying need for AZA zoos is to help wildlife ecosystems and populations get back on their feet because typically humanity gets in the way and they disrupt these ecosystems. And the need for these organizations is to, like I said, help them get back on their feet.
There's a need for the Carrion Institute, because like I said earlier, a lot of very important research goes on there. Like for example, over the summer, I helped Dr. Lucas with research on the effects of multiple things, including antibiotics and antifungals on soil. So hopefully the results, or more police results, will be coming out soon about that. It's pretty interesting stuff. Yeah, so a lot of really interesting and important things go on there. And they also educate communities about ecology and how we can preserve our world.
Thank you. Molly, Toby, Aaron, Juliet, and Sam. What can you do with the knowledge that you gain from your experience to promote change?
I would say that it takes walking through a day with someone to truly understand what it's like to be in their shoes. And having been with these disabled population for a long period of time, I could truly understand how they see these things that seem mundane to most, but it's not as easy as it seems to them. And now that I've seen that, I understand more what they are going through and how to be helpful to them.
So for those who don't know, which is a lot of you in here, I come from Harlem Lacrosse, and without Harlem Lacrosse, I probably wouldn't be on the stage today. Harlem Lacrosse basically gives, like I said, equal opportunity, or aims to give equal opportunity to all. And so being able to be here instead of a different place or a different path I would have taken in life had a severe effect, or a severe but great effect on my life. And so I also do believe that everyone should have that chance. And that's why my program exists.
So social media and event planning can be very helpful, and that's something that my organization focused a lot on. I did a lot of social media work, which was super helpful, and I got to talk to a lot of students in Kenya and create really close connections.
While working at the Duchess Land Conservancy, I got to learn a lot about environmental conservation and stewardship. And I also got to learn about some tactical ways to promote change while working with the Education Outreach Department. Some of these ways include reaching out to local people, educating the public, creating a variety of different events for people to attend, and just being available and sharing research.
I would say that I learned through ice hockey in Holland this summer that in order to promote change, you have to be doing something that you truly love. Obviously, Malik would not be working at ice hockey in Harlem if he did not truly love hockey. And this summer, I really learned just working with him, and watching him. Say we're like organizing donations. We're not just like monotonously doing a chore that someone else wouldn't want to do. Like we're going through the gear. We're like with this Coho glove. Like that's a vintage Coho glove. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about. Or like a Reebok glove. Like they don't even make those anymore. Like everything that we did. We really cared about, we really loved doing, working with the kids especially. It was so much fun, and to really promote change, I feel like you really have to love what you do, and that's what I learned this summer.
Juliet, Nate, Marshall, Grace, Sarah, Ethan, and Jimmy. Did your experience at Millbrook prepare you in any way for your MillbrookEngage internship?
I think Millbrook's core values of service really has helped me prepare. Millbrook having a core value of service has made it one of my core values, and it has helped me to become a compassionate person. And the education I've received here, I hope that every student feels the same way, that every person should get such a great education.
Yes, my experience at Millbrook School has helped me prepare for this opportunity. As many of you may know, we have community service, and one of those options is being a zoo curator, which I've been since my sophomore year. While being a zoo curator, I've gained valuable knowledge of how to take care of all the animals, which I was able to apply this summer.
So a lot of the work we do in the classroom here is based on discussions, and during these discussions, it really helped me build up my communication skills, which ultimately helped me communicate better to the kids I was teaching on the water.
So while our zoo definitely helped me work at another zoo, one of the main things that helped me was working with our teachers and working with our adult staff. I was one of 2 high school students and 100+ staffing. So it was really helpful to be able to communicate with them and feel comfortable in the space because they were who I was spending my time with and they were who I had to rely on.
Being a student at Millbrook School has definitely fueled my passion for environmental conservation. Whether I'm working at Trevor Zoo or running on the cross-country trails, I've definitely learned to appreciate the environment that we're all really privileged to be on. And Millbrook School also prepared me by teaching me how to organize events such as clubs and also just learning how to research and write really great papers.
I think Millbrook School really helped me with coaching through both basketball and leadership. On the court, it was really hard to work not knowing what to do, but Millbrook gives you the facilities and the people to help you become better at whatever sport you want to do. And I think Millbrook helped me translate those skills over to the kids. And on the leadership side of things, I think Millbrook gives you the opportunity to lead in different ways. Either that's through community service, through the classroom, or on the field. And using those skills is really easy to teach younger kids how to use those skills throughout their life and help them have those tools so they can succeed later in life.
Thank you. Evie, Sam, and Juliet. Has your opinion of the issues that your organization served changed in any way because of your internship experience?
I would say I have a much deeper appreciation for the child life organizations at all hospitals because it is an overlooked topic within hospitals. It is something that's as important as everything else that goes on, but it truly is something that doesn't just benefit the kids, it also benefits the parents. I had conversations with a lot of parents of the patients that I was working with, and their mental health is as important because you can't comfort a sick child if you're not fully there either. So I just think that I've had a greater sense of who needs help. It's not only just this one person, it's a bunch of people around them too. So child life kind of touches on everyone.
Okay, so I'll be honest, when I first started my internship, I had absolutely no idea what the Duchess Land Conservancy was, but now I can definitely say that I really value the work they do there, and I've learned and realized that they play such an important role in protecting our land and just like helping our community.
My opinion on the issue of spreading the game of ice hockey hasn't changed per se, but it's definitely been solidified. When you see on like Instagram or TikTok, you see like, the NHL did an event with ice hockey in Harlem, or they did like some event with some other nonprofit. You're like, oh, that's cool, like that's making a difference, you know. But you never really get to see behind the scenes how much work they put into it, how many hours are dedicated into setting up a camp, into setting up a drive where like they're giving out gear. Like every little thing takes so much work, and then to be on the ground floor working with the kids, helping them out, every little difference matters. And that's what I learned this summer, that how much work is put into it. And my opinion has just been solidified because I just really appreciate how much work Malik, Ryan, everyone else puts into this.
Great, thank you. Baker, Marshall, and Toby. Tell us, how is your life different or similar to that of the people that you and your respective organizations served through this experience?
I grew up in the same places as everyone that I was working with. I was born in the same hospitals, and although there's one minor difference between us, we are all still people, and we all wanted to be treated well, we all want equal opportunity, so having the ability to work with them was really powerful to me.
So my life is similar to the kids I taught because I myself used to attend the program, and we also shared a passion for sailing. A goal of mine this summer to give back to the organization was to share as much knowledge I learned from the organization with the kids I was teaching.
These kids, they love playing basketball, swimming, playing video games, anything that me or anybody else would like to do. But they just have so much of a harder time doing it. And these kids, they tell me that they love talking to someone who's a similar age to them and they can relate to. But I also love talking to them.
Thanks, guys. Christina, Sarah, James, and Baker. What challenges do your respective organizations face in living by their missions and achieving their goals?
So working with domestic violence victims, a goal of SAGE is to work with their clients using what's called client-defined advocacy. This means that you're doing what the client wants, not necessarily what you think is best for them, which can be really difficult because if someone is living in an abusive situation, obviously you're going to say, like, you need to get out of this situation, but sometimes it's more complicated than that. So really just trying to focus on what the client wants and helping them. Another big aspect is confidentiality. If someone is in shelter and they disclose the location of the shelter, it's Connecticut state law that they're not allowed to be in shelter anymore, so the organization has to kick them out. But my organization is really good about helping them find other shelter, whether that's with another domestic violence agency or with a homeless shelter.
So some of the pushback that zoos get is housing wild animals. People feel that it's not okay. But I think that zoos are doing some amazing things because without the funding that comes from zoos, we wouldn't be able to have these conservation programs in the wild. As well as we have SSP programs as well as SAFE programs, which also work to target specific animals and target their specific needs in the wild and help them survive.
The Caring Institute is important because they do a lot of work there, like I said at the time.
What challenges do they face?
Oh yeah, okay. So the challenges that scientists at the Caring Institute face are trying to find a good balance of work and also trying to secure funding and also trying to publish their findings. So that was one of the things that I feel like I had a real impact on this summer, was I was able to go out and do a lot of like the field work, the research, all that kind of stuff, while Jane Lucas was doing like stuff in the lab, trying to secure funding and grants, and also trying to get her research out there to the public. So yeah.
Funding is also a big problem for my summer camp. These kids, they need a one-on-one person to attend to them at all times, whether it's to push them around, take them swimming, kind of care for them in all sorts of ways. And another thing that it's also very expensive is wheelchairs. And not just regular wheelchairs, but electric wheelchairs, because a lot of these campers, they don't have motion of their limbs except very small motions to their fingers. And communicating is also very tough for them. So most of the campers need a very kind of complex communicating board where they can control it with their eyes, and that's how they speak.
Thank you. Elle, Toby, Tinu, Ethan, and Sam. How are you different as a result of this experience, and what did you learn about yourself?
So going into this, I had a real passion to go into plastic surgery, and that's what brought me to the organization in the first place. And when I found out that it also dealt with domestic abuse survivors, I was really interested in learning more about this topic. And throughout my time in the organization, I figured out that I want to go into psychology, and I'm really interested in the mental health aspect behind surgery and behind body positivity, which is super, I don't know, it's just super intense in social media and in our generations. And so, yeah, that's what changed me from my organization.
Histology, I apologize for not clarifying this earlier. Histology is the microscopic study of tissue cells. And I had more of the organizational based part of all that, so like organizing all of the physical specimens. So I learned that I have a lot more patience than I thought I did. It was a lot of sorting through numbered slides, and also I learned that I have to have a certain kind of level-headedness because there were many issues that the lab faced on the day-to-day, whether it be funding or staffing or things that needed to get done that did not end up getting done. So having a level head in situations like that made the whole process a lot easier and a lot more enjoyable for everyone in the lab.
I would say that I gained a certain level of patience and understanding for the people I was helping. Going into Engage, I really had no idea what it was like to work with people that were disabled, but after spending 6 to 8 weeks with them, I really can say that I don't understand, but I can more understand than before what it's like to live on a day-to-day life with someone that has a disability.
So first, I found our alumni are just ordinary people. Even Tom Lovejoy, he also only got B+ in his high school biology exam. And on the other hand, for me, personally, I got a chance to discover the work-life balance because I'm an international student. So I actually live here, I have to cook my food, go to a grocery store, or maybe plan my day to explore this area a little bit. So that's a great experience before you really get a job away from your parents and far from home.
I'd say that I learned how big of a difference I can make by just taking a small step. This summer, say like Malik was like, hey, let's unpack one box of gloves. We ended up unpacking like the entire thing in like 4 hours. Just by taking one small step, you can make such a big difference. Taiwan kids skate, you end up tying the entire locker room skates. So yeah, I just learned that I can make such a big difference in so many people's lives just by taking one small step.
All right, our final question for everyone. How would you motivate others to become in service experiences like you had? What would you say to someone who is considering MillbrookEngage or community service in general?
I know that service work can be tedious, and a lot of the time you're doing the same things over and over again, but just push through the hard work because you never know the impact that you're going to make on somebody else or that the organization could make on you.
I would motivate others by saying that doing service like what we did, that we're really interested in, we're able to learn so much about ourselves and also about things that we're really interested in. And for example, like me, I want to change what I major in college because of this experience. And so you can really take it how you want it, and you're also not losing anything from this experience, you're gaining everything. And so I would really, really encourage all of you to try to do MillbrookEngage.
When I first signed up for this program, I wanted to be a nurse. I still want to be a nurse, but that's the reason why I originally wanted to work in a hospital for MillbrookEngage. I ended up working in histology. It wasn't my choice, but I ended up learning that new experiences are pretty fascinating, even if it wasn't what you intended in the first place, and it does feel good to give back to your community in any way that you can.
I would encourage people to do MillbrookEngage by saying that service is a two-way street, and as much as you're helping other people, they also help you. I have learned so much about myself this summer and also what I want to do in my future through college, and all of this is just from doing one little internship. So I would definitely encourage everyone to do it.
I would say be prepared to lean into the discomfort that you're going to face when engaging in community service, because community service has nothing to do with you and everything to do with the people around you. I was definitely on the front lines during this internship, and I was uncomfortable, and it actually just opened my eyes to a whole new world, and in the end helped me grow.
To motivate others to do community service, I would say that there's no wrong answer for what you can do to give back to your community. Every action you do, big or small, makes a difference.
When I signed up for Engage, I had no clue what I wanted to do, but I ended up leaving with a very valuable amount of knowledge, and I had a great time doing it as well, and I gained a lot, and I also could give back to my community, which was amazing to do.
To get people to do more service, I'd say they learn a lot about themselves. So, like me, for example, dealing with a lot of Harlem lacrosse kids, I learned that I need to be more patient. And so this basically helps me in all aspects of my life, but especially like on the field as I'm an athlete. This brings more positivity on the field and better communication. So it just benefits me just as much as I'm helping them.
You all should do service because it feels good to give back to your community.
Okay. For people who might not know me, I'm a super introvert, but I still find a job in MillbrookEngage, which do not actually ask me to communicate with people a lot. I just have to sit in front of a computer for 6 hours a day. But finally, it turns out good. And so no matter which kind of person you are, you're definitely going to try it. There's no harm in that.
I would say what Elle said is super true, and then also finding something that you're super passionate about, because at the end of the day, enjoying something thoroughly would help the process a lot, and I encourage everyone in this room to do service.
Going off of EP, I would say the bad days are something to take in. Take them at full force, because not every day is going to be great, but every day can teach you something. The best days can have great rewards, and the bad days can do too.
I would definitely encourage everyone to do some sort of service, because you get to pursue something you're passionate about, and you also get to learn something new while also learning about yourself. I really like my experience at my organization, and I learned a lot.
Well, I stepped into the lab with the fear that I'm gonna mess things up, but at the end of my internship, the HR invited me to come back next summer. So I would say to seize the chance to do something challenging yet meaningful for a high school student.
Building off Ella and Molly, I'd probably say that finding something that you're passionate about is really important when it comes to service. When you're having fun, it doesn't feel like work at all. And if you find something that you're passionate about, I could definitely work at the ice hockey pond all day, any day of the week.
I would say it's very important to find a community service or service in general that you're passionate about. And once you find something that you're passionate about, there's always going to be a group out there for you, and it's very rewarding to give back to your community.
I would say do service because it's a great opportunity to go into something that you don't know much about, find out if you really like something or if you don't like something. It's just a really great opportunity to discover what you might want to do in the future and to give back to your community at the same time. So it's just a great deal.
I think the hard work that you have to do is really, really important. Over the summer, most people take breaks, and I think the hard work that I did over the summer really helped me with my work ethic and other skills I needed for my senior year because it was going to be so rigorous. And I think the hard work that MillbrookEngage gives you makes the prize of finishing it and doing this talk really, really helpful and makes it all sweeter.
Service is hard. There are things that you see that are emotionally difficult to watch, but there was not a single day that went by where I didn't leave feeling like I hadn't helped and put value into the world. And as we finish this off, I just want to say, don't do it for yourself, do it for others. Thank you.